Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi my loves, it's Choice and you're watching Choice TV. For today's video, I kind of want to get on here and talk about the whole pickpocketing and robbing situation involving this woman who recently went to Italy.
You stole my purse with my passport in it. Police!
Oh, yeah.
Little girl, I have 8 kids. You're not getting to me. You're the one screaming. That's right. Let's get the police, and maybe I'll get my passport back. I don't even care if you keep it cash. I don't even care.
I'm sure most of y'all probably seen this video on TikTok, but if you haven't, let's break it down. So a woman by the name of Christina Green, who is from North Carolina, who apparently works as a doctor, was vacationing in Venice, Italy with her family when out of nowhere, someone decided to get really close with her, spark up some awkwardness, and then eventually swipe all her shit and steal everything that was in her bag. So eventually, Christina was identified and her daughter came forth, and her daughter's name is Karis, and she has a popular TikTok account, and she went in and she explained why they weren't playing around with these girls. Come to find out, these very same girls have done this to other people.
Her and my stepdad immediately started tracking her purse through her AirPods on Find My Friends. And they were able to track it down back to those 3 girls because my mom already knew like these people must have been it. And then she saw them with like the bag. So she goes and chases them down and she grabs one of the girls by her ponytail and does not let go. So 2 of the girls stay, one of the girls runs away with my mom's purse. So my mom stays with the girl, still holding her ponytail, waiting for the police to arrive. The Airbnb host was really kind and supportive of like helping my mom get her stuff back, calling the police. Apparently these girls were pretty well known for being pickpocketers, and people that lived there in Venice knew of who they were, and they were causing a lot of trouble. So then my stepdad went and followed the Find My Friends of like where the AirPods were going throughout the city. So my mom in the video, as you saw, was relentless on getting her stuff back. She wanted at least her passport. She said she didn't care about any of the other stuff in the bag, but she just at least wanted her passport so she could get home. And the people that were there were so kind. The Airbnb host, the owners of the jewelry shop next door were kind enough to stand there and help her ensure that she was able to get her stuff back and hold these girls accountable. They were about to arrest these girls when the girl that had the bag over her shoulder went and swung it and hit my mom in the head. And in the bag was that metal water bottle that they took from my mom. So my mom had a massive like gash on her head and it was bleeding everywhere. She got a black eye from it, and the girls were arrested, and then my mom had to go to the hospital and get some stitches.
After this video went viral, there have been other videos of other tourists filming them, walking past them. There have been other videos that have resurfaced of them being caught pickpocketing people and then trying to run off in subways and run off in alleys and much more. These girls are known to do this. And we gotta talk about a bigger subject here, because sometimes these girls may not even be full-blooded Italians. Sometimes these girls might be from other places in other cities, making other Italians look bad.
Go to the police now. What is this? This is my... Why you touch me? We see what you're doing. Attention, a pickpocket! Don't touch. Don't touch. She doesn't even care about covering her face. See, she's pregnant. She's very aggressive. See? She's pregnant. They're always pregnant, these people. Attention, a pickpocket! Don't touch. You're on video. Don't touch. You don't touch us, we don't touch you, huh? Don't touch. Don't touch.
What?
Don't touch.
You want to hunt me?
If you touch me, I'll touch you.
Go? Hit
Go.
me?
No, I don't.
Go.
We go to the police now. Attention, a pickpocket. No, we don't. You're following us. You see what you're doing? You're not pregnant. What is this?
What is this?
Why you touch me? I don't touch you, you're touching me. You're on video. These are the people you deal with. You gotta be careful, man. She put like a little fake thing here on her stomach. You know, they just rob tourists. There's no police in the street. You see these pickpockets, they just go around, they steal from tourists. And there's no police in one of the most busy places in Italy. They could catch so many of them if they wanted to, but it seems like they don't have the will to do it. So yeah, it's very disappointing. That's how fast it goes. Over here we have 3 pickpocketers. Look, look, look. Let's follow them. Ladrona! Okay, pickpocket! Pickpockets! Be careful! Pickpockets! Watch your stuff! Pickpockets! Pickpockets! Fuera! Pickpockets! Pickpockets! Ah, sí. Llama a la policía. Pickpocket. Ajá. Peekaboo! Peekaboo!
But we'll talk about that later in this video. So, I have been robbed before traveling to different countries. I've been robbed probably at least 4 times. And some of y'all may hear that and say, oh my god, like how do you put yourself in those situations? Or oh my god, that's scary. Like, I travel solo a lot because motherfuckers can't be relied on. So I always go places by myself. And sometimes when you go places by yourself, you can be more susceptible to being a target. And I don't just go to European countries. Like, I've been to Easternized countries. Like, I've been to East Africa, West Africa, North Africa. I done traveled all across the Caribbean, Jamaica, Trinidad, and I've mostly always been safe. However, sometimes when people are struggling with poverty and sometimes you go to a country where they have less than, sometimes they're willing to take advantage of you if you show off your jewelry. So if you got nice watches and rings and jewelry and all that stuff, they're taking it because they think in their head you don't value it, because if you valued it, you'd probably keep it hidden. When you go to countries like Brazil, they wear fake jewelry. Like when you see those videos of those Brazilians dancing and they're out in public, they're wearing fake jewelry or not wearing any jewelry at all. When you walk around Brazil or see vlogs of Brazil, you notice nobody ever really has their phone out because people know better. Somebody done gave me a fake little hug when I was in Brazil, then boom, swiped their hand in my pocket, ran off and took my fucking phone, and I was literally phoneless. And because of that, I don't play that. Like now I walk around with a burner phone to always make sure that I'm good. So everywhere I go, I always got 2 phones. Hell, I'm about to get a 3rd phone for just in case, because you never know. And you can't trust motherfuckers. And the reason why people like to pickpocket and finesse you is because if they can sniff out that you're a foreigner, they automatically think that you're rich. They think a lot of us who are from America or from England or from all these countries that are westernized, they think that we're all loaded in cash. I will be real that a big reason why I probably avoided most scams is because I'll be honest, I benefit from something called black privilege. If you've never heard of black privilege, let me explain. Because you're black and people already perceive negative stereotypes about you, sometimes it could work in your favor. When I go to Brazil and they hear me talk and I say, fala pouco português, no entende. Like, they literally look at me like, huh, what? And they look at me like I basically just fucking talked about their mom, because people are sometimes shocked when they see black skin and then they think Westerner. Like, they just think like, wait, that doesn't add up. People in most of the world are used to black people being broke and ain't shit, or used to not having much at all. So they think that I'm just some poor little black child just walking around. It sounds fucked up, but it's the truth. I've avoided a lot of scams sometimes going into markets where they're like, where are you from, my friend? And I'm just like, I'm from South Africa. I'm from South Africa. Yeah, like I'm from South Africa. And they don't ever think anything of it. Compared to someone with blonde hair and blue eyes, they never, ever try to finesse me as much as they would do them.
Where I'm from.
Where are you from?
America.
I love you. United States?
Oh, donation? I don't have any coins. All I have is a 50. So no, thank you.
So they're associated with wealth. If you have light skin and you have like blonde hair, brunette hair, automatically you're associated with someone that's probably a rich doctor or a lawyer or a movie star in America. But when you're black and you travel, most people usually don't try to finesse you as much as they would. Like, times where I've been in Ethiopia, I've literally walked around and I've literally seen beggars literally completely walk right past me. And then the minute they see a white couple, all of a sudden in Ethiopia, they're like, excuse me, hey, I need help, I need food. Like, you know what I mean? So that works in my favor. But I'll be real, traveling the world and going to places like Italy, people think that you're going to be safe because they think Louis Vuitton, they think Chanel, Fendi, Prada, and all these designer brands that were made in Italy and France and Germany and all these places. But what they don't realize is a lot of these countries colonize other countries. They colonize other countries, and sometimes the descendants of these colonized countries come to these countries for more opportunities. You know, like, hey, if you go to school or you join the military, since you already speak the language, you can come here. But sometimes when you go to other countries, you deal with what it's like to be treated poorly because in their head they feel like this Western country fucked us over and took everything that makes our country great. So now we're going to take and rob everybody. Oftentimes immigrants from Morocco, Tunisia, Libya, and all different types of countries, Iraq, or even Somalia, they'll go to other countries like the UK or Sweden. And most of the times they usually mind their business and just try to like reap the benefits of living in a good, successful country. And then other times, when a lot of them have broken homes or come from impoverished backgrounds, some of them have this pressure of literally trying to like rebel and trying to, you know, recuperate what they feel like colonizers took, or they're angry because their homes are broken and they're struggling and there's like 20 of them in one apartment. And in many cases, they're living off of governmental assistance. There are a lot of refugees in Sweden. There are a lot of lower income people who come from different countries from Morocco who go to Spain or France. And then they literally try to like pickpocket, rob, and finesse people because that's what they know in their country how to get by. And trying to get a job in a country that's already prejudiced and racist towards you because of your accent or because you don't speak the language fluently, they automatically just think, okay, I don't have many options, so I might as well just start robbing people. There's times where, like, for example, there's this little boy that literally walks around Mykonos, Greece, and he does the most horrendous shit ever.
You with who? Oh, nice. Let me. Mama.
I don't have mama.
You don't have mama? Where your dad?
I don't have dad.
Grandparents?
No.
Auntie?
No.
Uncle?
No.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Where your people at? You shouldn't be out here by yourself. Who you with?
It's not.
Huh?
Where's your family? Our feelings go and we stay here always.
Where's your mama? Where's your family?
I don't have family and dad.
No. Shut up, because I'm going to cry.
You by yourself? No.
Who you with? Ice.
Hot.
Huh?
Hot.
You with who?
Hot.
Oh, nice. Slap me. Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
You like it?
No, I don't like it.
POV, you meet a sweet, innocent Greek little girl from Mykonos.
You are a bad little girl.
And from what I've researched, a lot of people who live in these islands, they oftentimes say that a lot of these kids are not Greek kids. Like a lot of people that are in the tourism industry, selling things to tourists, selling little toys and figurines to them, a lot of times they got, you know, picked up or adopted by like an uncle or a cousin or a relative. And in exchange, they have to kind of work. And they're basically being told, hey, you have to work. You have to pay bills. You're young. Beg for money or, you know, get the tourists to buy this or X, Y, and Z from you. Tourism is their bread and butter because they can't get a traditional and normal job because of prejudice or because they don't have their papers. They're not permanent residents. Or in many cases, a lot of them just simply don't have it like that to literally get a job. Some of them can't go to college so easily. Some of them don't have the income or reach certain criteria to be educated in these Western countries that they go to. So they try to finesse people when they go to Rome, where they go, or when people go to Italy, or when people go to France. But there's been times where, like, you know, I've gone to, for example, Morocco, and someone like literally snatched my fucking chain because I just didn't want to give them any money. There's times where like I had someone who was literally driving me around and eventually took me home, and I left my bag there thinking that it was safe for them to guard and like keep an eye on. Meanwhile, they unzipped my shit and they fucking took my AirPods and took $15 out of my bag. And y'all don't realize a lot of people that are snatching phones, a lot of them are Parisians, a lot of them are from France, but then a lot of them are from struggling countries, like from the Congo, or some of them are from Cote d'Ivoire, or any other country such as Libya, or Tunisia, or Algeria, where they're struggling, and they're even struggling in a Western country. So in their head, they're just like, okay, the only way I'm gonna eat and get by is if I just like take what I can and get what the fuck I want out of people who are not lacking. So they bring a lot of their like hustle mentality into these Western countries, and sometimes that's what can make it unsafe. But what's interesting is a lot of these countries like France and Spain, it's not that they're racist towards black people, is that a lot of them are just nationalists. Like, it sounds crazy to say, because people are like, no, that's race. No, a lot of them are genuinely nationalists. Like, a lot of times they generally hate other nationalities because they feel like they make their country unsafe. That's why sometimes when you see those videos of French people mean mugging tourists and foreigners, it's not always because they're racist. It's sometimes because they feel like foreigners come into their country, raise up the prices, or sometimes foreigners come into their country and they cause them as citizens to be taxed to help fund their pockets, because sometimes they'll get things like governmental assistance, but then they'll be walking around with their baby saying, hey, can you feed us? We need more money. We need more money, because they're so conditioned to handouts from the government, because the government said, oh, it's okay. You're poor. You can come to this country and thrive and work and do all that stuff. And they don't want to do it because they don't have it in them to do it. So they walk around begging, having their kids on their hip and holding their kid's arm and asking for stuff. France is a cute country, but it tends to be a liberal shithole sometimes because they're very into multiculturalism, which is great. But then there are some sad instances where eventually people get sick and tired of a lot of people coming in the droves and benefiting off of everybody's tax dollars. So then that caused a lot of racism, that caused a lot of prejudice. Like a lot of the Arab people who came from their country, they come to France ready to thrive and go to school, but they can't because the French government wants to prioritize the actual citizens. So then when they can't go to school and they can't even get a job because they barely speak French well enough, because if you don't speak French, let's be real, you're not going to thrive in France. That leads to a lot of xenophobia, disrespect, chaos, and there's a lot of like Arab youth that go downhill in France because they can barely get a decent job that's going to take care of them.
Partner has his papers. He found a permanent job, but we don't have anywhere to live. We called the emergency services number, but they've only housed us one night since the 30th of June.
On Tuesday, though, police vans arrived to evacuate the square, and coaches rolled up to take the migrants to other cities across France to stay in temporary accommodation centres. But for many, it's a non-solution.
I work here in Paris. I can't leave my job. I cannot quit a permanent contract just for 3 days of accommodation somewhere else. If it doesn't work out, it's temporary. I will lose everything at the same time.
Some are choosing between having a job and having a home, and others between having a home and keeping their family together, in cases where one parent has a job in Paris. The hot summer months are a dangerous time to sleep rough, with many food distribution and hygiene services closed due to holidays. And high temperatures, sometimes in the upper 30s in France, compound already harsh living conditions.
And also, y'all think there's a migrant crisis going on in America where there's a bunch of them, being flown out or being, bus driven all the way to New York City and California? There's not just a migrant crisis and an immigration and an ICE crisis in America. It's also in places like Spain. It's also in places such as Germany. It's also in places such as France. A lot of these places are dealing with it because y'all think inflation just hit y'all backyard. It didn't. It hit a lot of these people. So when you see a lot of these Albanian girls and these people that look like they're from Italy and look like they're from Greece, a lot of times they aren't. They're not locals at all. Locals are usually very chill and respectful and laid back when it comes to tourists. These people that you see snatching phones and pickpocketing in London, some of them are migrants. They need the money, and a lot of them are living in migrant homes or they have a little tiny studio apartment where it's like 50 of them in one apartment, and they ain't got no food to eat. There's no way, because everybody in that damn apartment probably don't have a job. So I'm not saying it's right. I'm not gonna sit up here and be like, oh yeah, they can do that. No, it's fucked up, and they ain't shit for robbing people, especially innocent people who genuinely just want to have fun and enjoy the country. But in many cases, because they know that the government is giving them money, and because sometimes the government only gives them so much, depending on if they have kids or if they're in school, sometimes they trip out. And a lot of them have financial hardships. And that's why sometimes, even the police can be very lax. Like, okay, give them a fine and that's it. They barely have their papers anyways, and they're already poor, so who cares?
Camp last year, and many have been staying in tents in an unofficial overflow area.
We've begun an operation to shelter migrants who live in degrading conditions, both for their safety and for their health.
Nearly 2,800 migrants, mainly from Africa and the Middle East, were moved in the operation. They were taken on buses to a range of reception centres across the greater Paris region of Île-de-France. Officials say the reception centres, as well as providing food and lodging, will offer access to medical care and immigration officials.
And also, here's a video of a lot of North Africans literally getting on a boat and coming into Spain. Because as you guys know, a lot of North Africa is damn near connected to Spain, to Europe. So you can easily take a boat there and be there literally within an hour or two. And this is a viral video, and there's all types of videos like this of them trying to get into Europe because they know Europe is very liberal and prone on giving them governmental handouts. And because Europe has like a very like slap on the wrist, like, who cares? Give them all housing, give them all this, give them all that, so we could like, you know, be inclusive. That's why taxes are so damn high when you go to these places. That's why a lot of them are fucking making like what, $13 an hour on average, and probably like only making like under $35K a year, even though like cost of living is getting high as fuck. Like a lot of them aren't making that much money yearly. Like the pay is very shitty. It doesn't go up, but then they make up for it with, well, at least, you know, we get to house the refugees. At least we get to house migrants. And at least, you know, you get the discounted healthcare, which seems fine. But when resources are being oversaturated, you know, you should kind of understand why a lot of migrants lash out, because there's not enough for all of them. And when there's not enough for all of them, they resort into stealing and pickpocketing. So honestly, I take my hats off to that Karen that snatched that bitch by that ponytail, snatching people's shit like that and trying to run off. So you do shit like that in America, that's some shit that's gonna get you fucked up and killed. So usually they can tell you're a foreigner based off of how you speak, like your mannerisms, the shoes you have on, and the clothes you have on. If your clothes like good quality or you're dressed really, really nice, in their head they think, okay, you're clearly not lacking because you're wearing your nice clothes out and about, so you might be rich. There's times where I've walked around Morocco, right? And literally I'll just be minding my own business. And there was like this one kid that literally had like tissues. Like he was literally selling tissues in those little packets. And he was like walking up to me. And he was like 5, mind you. And he was like, Monsieur, s'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît. I'm like, no, I'm fine. Like I'm trying to swerve. And he's like blocking me. He's like, s'il vous plaît, Monsieur, s'il vous plaît. Which means please in French. S'il vous plaît, Monsieur, s'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît. I'm like, no, I'm fine. S'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît. Like literally harassing me. And he's like 6 years old. Like he's a little kid. And he eventually left me alone because I just gave him the candy that was in my pocket. But they are conditioned to believe that they have to get something. And sometimes when they haggle and they hassle you and they bug you and they irritate you, they think persistency will eventually make you give up and just give. So here are my advices for anyone traveling. I'll be real, when I travel, I still bring my pepper spray with me. So what I do is I literally will pack my pepper spray inside of like my check bag or my carry-on, but I literally put it in like a keychain, right? So sometimes, a lot of times when you have pepper spray, you could put it in like in a case. And a lot of times if you have like under 3 ounces, it won't be like detected through the scanner. So you can bring your pepper spray, you can literally put it in a container and just put it in your check bag. Like let them put it under the plane. Don't bring it on the plane with you if you don't want to, but do that. And then a lot of times you'll be good. And if they see it, they'll just toss it out. But what's interesting is there's other things you can do as well, like such as, you know, packing other things like a rat tail comb. Like if you feel like your life is in danger and you feel like you want to be safe, if you want to protect your phone from getting pickpocketed, your stuff from getting pickpocketed, leave your motherfucking passport at home. Like it's really insane to me that people are still stupid enough to bring their passports with them out and about. There's always a safe that you could lock your shit in and you won't have to worry about anything. Sometimes cleaning ladies will go through your shit and they'll rob your ass. So you can't always trust the cleaning lady either. Sometimes you gotta like get your passport, hide it in the freezer. You got a cereal box, buy a cereal box if you don't have one at the store. When you're in a different country, stash your passport inside the cereal and nobody would think to look there. Or you have a washer and dryer in your Airbnb, put your passport in there, because if you don't have your passport, you ain't getting home. So when this lady grabbed that bitch by her fucking ponytail, and yes, I'm calling that 14-year-old girl a bitch because she felt like she was grown enough to literally run up on somebody and take their shit. She's grown enough to get called out and get smacked. So I feel like that lady, if anything, she underreacted. If anything, if you went around doing that shit in America, they would have beat the fuck out of your ass. If you went around doing that shit in some parts of Africa, your ass would have got beat the fuck up and dropped. She's lucky that's all she did was yank her hair and drag her to the police station, because if it was anybody else, a lot of people would have beat the fuck out of her ass and stomped her ass and she would have got jumped. Pickpocketing isn't really a big thing in America because most of us in America have guns. On top of that, there's other things you can do to protect your phone. Like when I'm in Brazil, listen, I carry at least 2 phones. Like I don't play that shit. When somebody stole my phone in Brazil, I straight up will literally put my phone in my fucking pants. Like that shit goes right inside of my pants, and that's where it's gonna stay unless I'm inside of a store, inside the mall, or inside of a building where there's cameras and security. Because a lot of times when you put your stuff literally in your pants or in your clothes like that, it's illegal in most places for someone to sexually harass you and touch you inappropriately. So most bad guys aren't gonna go out of their way to go digging in there like, oh hey, what you got in there? They're not gonna do all that. So that's my advice to anyone watching this as a whole. Please travel the world and see what's out there, but don't think that you only gonna get dubbed and snatched up and robbed in Colombia, Mexico, or all your, like Italy and France and Belgium. Like you can get it there too. Like somebody will snatch your shit and there's nothing you can do about it. Like There's been times where I've walked around in London when I'm literally at the Brixton train station in London and I got fucking sexually like fucking assaulted by an Arab guy. I'm like, what the fuck? Like little crazy shit like that happens from people who come from different countries and bring their mentality and think that because they're in a different country, they have more freedom to do what the fuck they want. And because the rules are more lax and because there's wealthy people everywhere, they think, who cares? Like, I'll just take whatever the fuck I can because all these people have shit and I'm like in a fucking 1-bedroom apartment with like 20 family members struggling and still travel the world, because anywhere in the world could be fucked up and dangerous. You just gotta watch out. But that's that for this video. Please just like, comment, subscribe, give your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And yeah, that's that. Choice out this bitch. Why don't we fall in love? It's so many reasons. It's the only thing that matters to me. It's so many reasons. It takes such a load off to let you know that you're the only one I will ever want to go. Think I never did know what to do. A love I never felt, now I feel for you. Why don't I just swallow each and every ounce of my pride? Everything you do, I want to feel again. Ain't no use for us to pretend, cause why can't we, why can't we fall in love?